Then we're going to work on this objective. I can ask and answer questions about a text. Let's see how we do. So here is the text that we're going to read today. I just want you to preview it. Don't read it yet. Now, just by previewing, what do you predict this passage will be about? And what text features did you use to make this prediction? So when I first look at this text, the main thing that popped out to me were these photographs. Here's a photograph of some penguins. Here's a photograph of a whale. And the other thing that stood out to me was the title, The Coldest Continent. So when I saw the photographs and the title, I predicted that this was going to be talking about some animals that live on a cold continent. And I know that Antarctica is a cold continent, so I predicted that it will be about Antarctica. Now let's go ahead and read. For today's lesson, I'm going to read the passage out loud to you. I'm going to start right here at the title, and I'll move my pointer, my little mouse, to the different paragraphs when I move to a new paragraph. So I'm going to start right here. The coldest continent. If you know anything about Antarctica, you may know that it is really, really cold. In fact, it's the coldest place on Earth. Antarctica is made up of ice. It doesn't get much snow or rain, so it's considered a desert. Given how cold Antarctica is, it's no surprise that not many people live there. Most of the people who stay in Antarctica are scientists who study its ice. In the summer, tourists also visit Antarctica. Soon enough, these tourists go back home. In general, this continent can be a pretty lonely place for humans. While not many humans call Antarctica home, some animals certainly do. Emperor penguins live in Antarctica. They are the biggest species of penguins. Weddell seals live in Antarctica. They spend a lot of their time in the cold waters below the ice looking for animals to eat. Killer whales live in the ocean waters of Antarctica. They eat other animals like seals and seabirds. They also eat krill, a small ocean animal that lives in the ocean surrounding Antarctica. Many other animals in the Antarctic also eat krill. As for plants, not many can be found in Antarctica. Moss and algae are few of the plants that can live in a place that cold. What do you think? Does Antarctica sound like a place you'd like to visit? I don't know about you guys, but my answer to that last question is no. I hate cold weather, so I would hate to visit Antarctica. And now before we finish reading it, we're going to take a close look at this photograph, and we can use the caption to know that it's emperor penguins. Here's another photograph, and the caption is killer whale. All right, so we have read the entire text and the text features. Now we're going to get to the answering questions about the text. Here's the first one. The question is, what is a desert? And I gave you some choices here. A very hot place. B, a place with sand. C, a place that doesn't get much rain, much snow or rain. D, a place with a lot of different animals. Now wait, before you answer this question, I don't want you to answer what you think you already know before we read this. I want you to prove it. Look back in the text, think about what we read, and what does it say in the text. All right, I'm going to go out so I can show you where the answer was. Let's see. Actually, what is a desert? If you remember, that was in the first paragraph. Up here, if I just skim through, it talked about the desert right here. So let's read it again. It doesn't get much snow or rain, so it's considered a desert. Now, you might have thought that a desert is a very hot place, but not according to this, and Antarctica is cold, so that can't be right. A place with sand, that's not what it said. A place that doesn't get much snow or rain. Hey, look, it doesn't get much snow or rain, so it's considered a desert. That's the right answer, but let's check D just to be sure. A place with a lot of different animals. Well, Antarctica does have a lot of different animals, but that's not what makes it a desert. So by looking back in the text, I know that what is a desert? A place that doesn't get much snow or rain. Nice job looking back in the text. Let's try a new question. What do scientists do in Antarctica? We have to look back in the text. Let's think about where in the text it talked about scientists. Well, not this first paragraph. Oh, yeah, it did talk about scientists in this second paragraph. It said most of the people who stay in Antarctica are scientists. What do they do? Let's look in the text. They are scientists who study its ice. Is that one of the options? Yeah. A, study its ice. B, go on vacation. C, live in the ocean waters. Or D, eat krill. Scientists don't live in the ocean waters. Those are the animals. And scientists don't eat the krill. Those are the animals too. And who goes on the vacation are the tourists. So we have to read carefully. What do the scientists do? The scientists study its ice. That answer is A. All right, let's try another one. What are 2 things that killer whales eat? All right, for this one, I'm not going to give you choices. I want you to look back in the text yourself and find what killer whales eat. Not what you already know, but what you read in the text. And look, 2 things. You have to give me 2. All right, hopefully you looked back in this third paragraph where it talked about killer whales. Let's see. Killer whales live in the ocean waters of Antarctica. They eat other animals like seals and seabirds. They also eat krill. So what are 2 things they eat? You could have said seals, seabirds, or even krill. Last question. What is one thing that Weddell seals spend a lot of time doing? So go back in the text, see where it talks about Weddell seals, and type in what they spend a lot of time doing. Hopefully you came over here and you looked for where it talked about Weddell seals. Weddell seals live in Antarctica. They spend a lot of their time in the cold waters below the ice looking for animals to eat. So what is one thing that Weddell seals spend a lot of time doing? Looking for animals to eat. Very good, looking back in the text. So we just read the text and we answered questions about the text, but good readers also ask questions. When you're reading nonfiction, you're going to learn some things, but you're also going to want to know even more. So when I ask you for a question, these are our special W words like who. So here's a question I might have, a who question about this passage. Who goes on vacation to Antarctica? So it said tourists visit Antarctica, but who, what kind of a person would actually want to go to Antarctica? So that's an example of a who question. It's a W question word. The next one is say what? The next one is what? So this is a common question word. So let me think of a question that is a what question. What is the temperature there? Now it said it's really, really cold, but I'm curious, what is the exact temperature? Here's another W question. When? What's a when question? When is it coldest? Like what season, what month in the year, when is it the coldest in Antarctica? And here are some more W questions. You could do a where question or a why question, or this actually isn't a W, a how question. So right now, I want you to think about what we read, what we learned, and type in one question you still have about Antarctica. And you can use any of these: who, what, when, where, why, or how. You cannot use any of my 3 examples. You have to have one of your own. All right, and when you have a question, sometimes you can learn more by reading in other books or using other resources to find out your information. Now, before we finish up here, at the very beginning, you made a prediction. Was your prediction correct? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and that's okay. And then finally, let's think about our goal today. I can ask and answer questions about a text. If you did that, then say, yay, you can ask and answer questions. Good job.